Welcome back to another episode of Just Real Quick.
Got some other people.
We got some new people in the room today.
Oh,
They don't have to look at this bald guy today.
Yeah,
You introduced this way better
missing.
than your husband, by the way.
Just me
That was
today.
really good. I like that introduction. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm excited about
Good job.
today's podcast. We've got the wives here,
Oh, yeah.
so this will be good. So Jefferson's not here, so you get to say whatever you want to say, and then
Okay.
he's got to go back and listen to it if he wants to hear.
I was just going to say, I'm a little nervous about today because now people get to hear what really happens behind.
Does
He'll
that
have
make
to
you
defend
nervous?
himself
Yeah,
later.
maybe. I mean,
I got some jokes about why you might be nervous, but I'll keep
I'm sure you do.
Lexi, you be telling the truth.
They're only jokes, though.
Well, today's podcast, it's funny because the topic was called work-life balance. So I think this is a good way to start because
I think we all agree there's no such thing as balance.
do we all agree with that?
You mean life's not a fairy tale? And
You mean
everything's
everything's
not
not
perfect?
even keel everywhere?
But on my social media, everything looks perfect. So are you telling me that's not real?
It's not real.
It irks the shit out of me when I hear somebody saying I'm trying to seek balance in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So
Maybe that works for some
But-
people, though. I don't know.
To me, balance is just comfort. Like, I just want to be comfortable. So if you're going to do anything great, you can't have balance because it's just like not possible if you're going for something
yeah,
great because
Well, I
it's
don't-
chaotic for a while.
Yeah. And I don't feel like you can give the same amount of energy to every single thing in your life at all times either. So it's always going to be
True.
kind of up and down or
but I do think you can give the
It's
same
happening.
amount of intensity to
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
just maybe not proportionately all at the same time,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can't give the same amount of time to everything at the same time.
Yeah.
And why would you
Yeah.
want to give the same amount of time to every single thing either, you know? Some things are necessity and some things are
Yeah, it's a great thing. I mean, it's actually a positive. I think there's seasons of our life where I was thinking about this the other day. I can't think of a single person. I'm sure none of us can who's succeeded in an area of their life, and they've maybe take a doctor, take a successful business person. There wasn't a period of time where there wasn't a strain on other areas of their life while they were building that thing, and that's just kind of the way it goes. But the good thing about that is that develops character, and that develops, I guess, an internal, I think, strength.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if someone's going to go and become a doctor, for example, chances are their spouse is probably involved in that mission, and their kids are understanding of that. And here we are in a business where we're building sales leaders. And sometimes I think people don't realize how important it is to be willing to dedicate a period of time in their life to go all in on something to have an extraordinary life, right?
Yeah.
To have an extraordinary life is going to take an extraordinary effort. And that means there's going to be a period of time where you're not going to be able to spend time doing all the things maybe you like to do for your hobbies
Mm-hmm.
or even with your family and your relationships. I know that's hard to take.
yeah.
But that's also why I think it's important to communicate with your spouse and your kids and everybody's on the same page so everybody understands why you're doing it. So everybody's on it together.
Yeah, so I think when you say that, I think it's interesting, and I would love to hear the ladies' perspective on this, because I think a lot of times if somebody is going to become a doctor or a lawyer or something like this, and they're going to college, and a doctor goes to college and does residency and pays the price and does all this, it's almost like there's this common agreement that society says, well, that's okay to do.
Yeah.
But if you if you make that same sacrifice in order to build a business, now it's wrong.
Now you're selfish.
Yeah.
All you care about you. All you care about success or whatever.
Yep.
Respect.
So all three of you have been through, I know, dealing with crazy guys, that are maybe a little bit obsessive, but also have been majorly involved and not just supportive, but involved in building those businesses, as well as we're never balanced. How do you think, because I'm sure you saw that as well, how do you guys think that you overcame that or noticed the difference of not buying into what the crowd said was a sacrifice that didn't have to be made?
Omega?
Yeah, go for it.
I was just thinking that when somebody goes to school to be a lawyer or a doctor, And the spouse goes into it thinking, okay, the end result is you're going to have this amazing career. We're going to make all this money. We're going to have a great life because maybe they know other lawyers or doctors that have had success. And early on, you always painted that picture of like what kind of life we were going to have after we paid the price, and you were going to have to be gone. So you always replayed that for me and like, hey, this is why we're doing this, and you still do. And I think a lot of spouses don't do a good enough job doing that. So then when they start going to work and they stop seeing each other, they're not showing up for things as much. Then their partner goes, whoa, 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 like what's going on? My life is getting uncomfortable. I'm having to take more of a workload on. And instead of like painting the picture for them, saying, hey, this is what we're going for. We're going to be free. We're going to make all this money. I won't have to do this forever. They just say, well, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So that's just.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, Jefferson's always been really good at painting the picture too for me and letting me know what we're doing this for. But I guess I just chose to be involved. So I just show up every day and insert myself.
Do you feel like, though, you felt like the peer pressure or pressure from society that said, you know, Jefferson's totally focused and obsessed and all in, which I know he's got it from his family. I don't know about so much from your family.
Not really.
But I know definitely it's come from some of his family that think he's crazy, because he is a little bit. But do you, like, what stopped you from buying into that? Because you have chose to be involved. So what do you think, what stopped you from buying into what everybody else said and then continued to believe what Jefferson was saying? It was going to be worth it. We're going to do these incredible things.
I don't feel like we had a ton of people that said stuff like that, honestly. If they did, I didn't know about it.
I think that's the secret.
I think that is the secret, is I didn't hear about it. So I don't.
Or you weren't paying attention.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I just wasn't.
Yeah, and you kind of, I don't know if for us, we kind of had to remove ourselves from, like, we moved away from all of our family and friends, so we didn't hear any noise. We were just like in our own world doing our own thing. And you guys were in Arizona.
Yeah, we were.
So you weren't really around, like, and you weren't being distracted by family reunions, and because we really just couldn't make anything because we were so busy.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I didn't hear a lot of that. A little bit in the beginning.
But we know it happens. How about you, Lexi? Did you go through any of this early on in your career?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We had a lot of people that did not have an understanding of what we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
But he and I did. Like, we really did together know what we were trying to build. So when we heard it, it would hurt a little. Like, I would, have a sensitive heart. So I would definitely feel that and want to, defend it, but kind of just kept our heads down and kept going and just knew what we were trying to build together. So, and knew eventually people would see it. It might take a few years, but eventually they would see it. But we were believing before we saw it, and they would just believe it once they did. So,
was there something that you felt like Brandon did a good job of early on to help you see it so that you could feel the same way or be on the same page together, so that if those things did happen where your family was going, hey, what are you doing? You guys are working too much. Do you ever take some time off? How come you don't show up to the reunion like you used to, or whatever it may be?
Like what he did, he just, I just never had to question if he was going to be doing what he said he was doing. So if he was on appointments or working, he actually was.
Yeah.
Or if I had a contact, he would call them right away. Like, I watched him just do that consistently. And so I never had to wonder if the goals we had set would actually be achieved.
Yeah.
So yeah, and reunions and things like that, I still felt that was important. That is important to me. So I would show up, or he would show up for a day, and then I would show up for a couple of days. And so we would try to make that a priority still, but not, a week-long thing that we're gone.
Right.
So I think that's an important thing, because just because you're not there all week doesn't mean it's not important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, you can still show up. You just don't have to invest the same amount of time and energy, but it doesn't make it less important. I think it's a good thing, because that's like with our families too. We're building a business.
Mm-hmm.
We might be spending more time away from our families, which means we're spending less time with them, but it doesn't make them less important.
Well, then at the time that you're with him, you have to make it intentional, I think is what. So it would be like, I will drive there because it is important to me, but we will be there for a day or two.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I love that.
And it's
Great.
a temporary situation too. Well, it should be.
Yeah.
Now the problem is if you're not getting the job done,
Right.
and this goes on for years and years and years, there's a problem there, right? You came through, you delivered, Jefferson's delivered, you know, and it's not just, I mean, because of you and your support and your involvement, all three of you have been very involved in our businesses, and we wouldn't have been able to do what we did without your support. But we also, I don't think, gave you reasons to doubt that we were going to go get it done.
Right.
Yeah.
And we got it done in a fairly short period of time. So after a period of a few years, you know, Jeff, you just said, you know, we spend that time away from our families because we love our families. But if that's not communicated properly, which I did not, maybe didn't do the best job of that early on, of communicating, hey, listen, the reason I'm doing this, and she knew, but luckily I have an amazing partner here.
Luckily, she can read your mind.
Well, yeah, right? Like, yeah, well, yeah. But I didn't,
Sometimes
maybe.
not a whole lot going on up there, so
There's not much to read. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know where I was going. That was good. That was good, Shango. Yeah.
You could have done better at communicating that maybe. Well, because you can. You can get kind of stuck in a little bit of a, not a rut, but like you're just full speed ahead, you know? And so, okay, stop. So I think that's probably the job of a spouse because he always says like, I was going to war. Like men are meant to go and do that, right?
Yeah.
So it's probably up to us that maybe have more of the, like I feel like the mother's the one who feels that the family and all that is, we just have it more innately
Yeah.
in there where it's up to me that took me time to learn, hey, this is important.
Yeah.
Then he listens.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going to let him go while if he's on like a tear, I better not stop that, you know? So, yeah.
Well, how many people are willing to really go do what we did? There's not very many, right?
No.
And how many have the combination of that and a supportive partner, and not a supportive partner, but involved partner? That's even more rare.
Yeah.
So those out there that are listening to this, when you have that combination,
Mm-hmm.
I would encourage you to take full advantage of that opportunity because that's a blessing.
Yeah.
And I guess the next thing I would ask from there is it worth it? Is it worth it? And why is it worth it? I think we should talk about that because it's again, it's not a fairy tale. And you talked about being present when you're there. I wasn't always present because I was so focused on building my business, and I'm not making an excuse. I should have been more present. And that's something we should all work on doing a good job of.
Yeah.
But I still struggle with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I question whether or not because would you have the success if you weren't able to be obsessively focused about that thing?
Yeah.
And we hear the term obsessed too, and a lot of people look at that as a negative thing, where I look at it as a positive thing. Like, isn't it a positive thing that I'm totally focused on accomplishing something I actually said I was going to do?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Good-
so
You have
good
the
point.
support, there of someone that can totally fulfill all the other roles and
yeah.
needs so that you can do that.
But I think it is a good point saying, is it worth it? I don't know. It's a question everybody say. I don't know. Is it? Right? Is it?
Because in the middle of it, you're going, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
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 You know?
Well, he and I were just talking before we came in here because, like, really this week, my mind is with school stuff and football and dance and all the things. Like, I do not love the transitions out of school into summer and then back into school. It's just a lot on a mom.
Mm-hmm.
And so coming in here, I was not mentally in the mood. I'm like, I can't do this right now because I've got these other things. And he just reminded me, isn't that so great that I do normally every week? That's what I get to focus on
Mhm.
is all the things that my children need. So 100% worth it, even just for me to be able to be involved in all my kids, like knowing what they're going through and them being able to talk to me late at night. And that's what I'm taking care of every day because I'm not having to worry about going to work the next day.
Yeah.
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 Big.
Yeah. It's huge.
How about you, Chandel? Is it worth it?
She just made me a little bit cry.
Oh.
You're so cute. Go to couch.
Yes.
You gonna cry more if we make you say if it's worth it?
Because she's like, yes, it's so worth it. 100%. I remember always thinking, like, when we were going through it, thinking, this is not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this sucks. And I'm like, is this really what it takes to be successful? Like, do we have to struggle? Because we did struggle
Mm-hmm.
for a long time, and it's going to pay off. It's going to pay off. And thank goodness it did.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm like, oh, it couldn't get hard enough. Like, you know, now looking back, you're like, I would have done it 10 times harder for as good as it is now.
Mm-hmm.
The freedom. I always ask Jeff, like, hey, what can I do? And he's like, live the dream. I'm like, yeah, but what else can I, like, how can I help? Because I love that I get to live the dream and get to show up to all the kid things and be involved with everything. But I still like to help him where I can. But yeah, totally worth it. Would go back and do it 10 times harder. Maybe 5 times harder. Maybe not 10 times harder.
Oh gosh.
How about you? Do you have anything you want to add to that, Chandel?
I think it's definitely worth it so far. It's been worth it.
Yeah.
Still
It was
go.
just the beginning of the journey. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think this is why an important thing too is a lot of times people, they, you know, Brandon, you were talking about this with focus and there being another side where I think a lot of times this is who we are, you know, and I learned this the hard way where it's like 3 years of really being retired and doing whatever the heck. And I realized that wasn't fulfilling. That's not who I am.
Right.
And so to be who I am is this person in the chase, is the person going for something bigger. It's what brings me fulfillment and joy. It's also what I feel like, you know, I constantly am reminding myself when I'm talking to my kids and them seeing me chase a goal or my spouse and seeing that this is what brings me joy is to in the chase, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so is there a moment where we get to the end and say, okay, that was worth it? Or are we constantly going to be in this thing like I'm still going through it? But I think that the challenge changes because early on in our career, we struggled and there were for different things. Early on, it was we struggled financially.
Yeah.
Right. And then it went to where we struggled dealing with people. And then we struggled with, okay, what do we want next? And then it was, you know, so there's always these different challenges that you have throughout your journey to success. And then you get to a certain place and then you like meet somebody else who's 10 times further and you're like, okay, maybe I haven't done anything yet. It's time to double down and I really need to go for it. Because then you get into this comparison mode, which part of me I think is good for somebody in the chase.
Absolutely.
You know?
But I also, I think it's human nature to always want more. You know, once we start settling, we get depressed. And so I think that's, I mean, it's a healthy thing for us always to, okay, what's next? I mean, even if it's fitness, right? Like there's always something, and you always do this, like the marathon. We're training for the marathon. And then he's like, after the marathon, it's going to be something else. Because if not, you just get, you know, stagnant, depressed, and you're like, what am I doing? Like, how am I improving? And I watch Lexi with her kids and she always is like, how can I help my kids like do better, be better, like learn more about God, help them with math, I'm like, wow, like, cause she always wants to be better, but for her kids, right?
Yep.
And so I don't know, I was just thinking about Jeff always is just like that, what's next? And that's just, to me, that's human nature. Like, if not, you're just depressed. And so it's not a bad thing to always be in the chase and what's next, how can we grow, how can we be better.
So is this something you ladies have just accepted, or is Chandel just realizing this right now?
Along with
Chandel,
it,
Right?
Chandel is just realizing, like, is this gonna happen forever?
Together.
So I want to hear your honest opinions on this though.
Yeah.
Are we better men when we are doing what we're doing now, which is purpose driven, working hard, or I want your honest opinions. Like, is there a difference, you know, what you've seen? Because Jeff and I have semi-retired. Jefferson and you, Chandel, really just the last 7 years founded this company. Thank goodness you did, right? But you had prior to that too. And you've had experiences, I think, on both ends of that spectrum where all three of us have been totally on our game focused and other times where we haven't been as focused on specific purpose. I'd like to hear your honest thoughts. And
I would say watching you for those 3 years when you did not have purpose was one of the hardest things to watch. It really was. And I don't think you were doing a better job in any area, you know, as you were out in your office surrounded by your animal heads going, someone give me inspiration on what to do. He was just trying all these different things. But, you yeah, so this has been a huge blessing why he's got purpose and driven. And again, I think it's just up to me to kind of always remind him of little things and not let it hurt my feelings that that's how he's kind of made,
Yeah.
and to say, okay, that's my job, is to help you in that purpose. That's why we go together like this, So, no, watching you the last year has been pretty dang cool.
By the way, I've seen her accept that about me,
Mm-hmm.
and it's, I think, helped our relationship a bunch.
Yeah.
Like I think you've realized that is how I am, and I felt that, and I felt that support and that acceptance, and I feel like that's brought us a lot closer too. So anyway,
Do you think you had to go through, like, that was through the journey of you going for 3 years of going? Because really, I don't think it was even 3 years. It was a lot of years before that. Let's face it.
It was
right.
actually-
It was.
It was just
It
you
was a
made
lot
the
of years
decision to
before.
sell the business, and then 3 years after that, where you'd already made the decision, that it kind of kept going.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. No, I
Probably
think so.
being able to see the side by side comparison, and then just being grateful for how he's built.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, instead of it making me go, oh, I wish he was more, I don't even know, like, I'm trying to think of what we've talked about, like, how come you don't think of
Yeah.
this more or whatever? I'm like, oh, that's why I'm here. Like,
Mhm.
that's my job.
I am wired different. She has the ability and the gift to genuinely care about our families in a different way than I do. I love my family, but I show
You're a provider.
I'm a provider,
Mhm.
and she's more remembering the birthdays and making them feel very special. My side, a ton, like whether it's her side or my side, doesn't matter. She knows our family. She knows my, like, generationally, like both sides. It's amazing to me. And I'm like, I'm just not like that,
You're
you
the
know?
hunter.
Well, you don't remember your
Yeah.
great grandma that she did this?
For real, huh?
Yeah.
You don't remember her
She
name?
gets to know everybody's birthday and their kids and
You are
how
great at
old
remembering.
everybody is. And I'm like, how do you even know this? I barely know their name.
Yeah.
I'm like, call your sister. It's her birthday today.
Oh yeah. Remind you.
You're the little calendar reminder.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, for real.
But I think if we can accept that about each other, and look, so we have different gifts for a reason,
Yeah.
and be grateful for that, right? And then, of course, I want to be more like that, and I work on that, but it's just not my natural
Right.
tendency. Yeah.
So I think in order to get to a lot of this place where realizing it's worth it, there's obviously, you start realizing things about your spouse. You guys have all been involved in the process, not just like, hey, go sick them, You've all been involved. Shandell, you talked about kind of you made yourself involved, but I know Jefferson, may or may not have given you that choice to be involved.
You may have said, you know where I'll be.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that I know I'm very similar to that. I tell Kelsey all the time, you know exactly where I'm going to be. I'll see you there.
Yeah.
I want you there. If you want to come there, I want you there. But if you don't want to be there, you don't have to be there, But
Yeah.
you're going to know, where I'm at.
Yeah.
So I think, if there's spouses listening to this, or somebody, decides to send it to their spouse and say, hey, listen to this part. Why do you think it's so important to be involved versus supportive, and know what's going on and what role you can play to help support, if that's the role, or whatever it may be? But why do you think it's so important for a spouse to get involved versus just cheer them on?
I think it's good to know, like, what's going on. So if they ever need feedback or advice or
Since we love that so much.
fem
from our
tuition,
spouse,
sometimes it's just our fem tuition, like,
Mm-hmm.
we don't feel good about this scenario or this person or
Yeah.
something like that.
That happens all the time. Shandell will be in a room and just, hey, I feel this or do that. Right? You just call it out.
Yeah.
And you just have that, what'd you call it?
Fem tuition.
Fem tuition.
I-
You know, like
You're
Is
learning.
that a word?
You're learning
feminine
something new about
intuition.
yourself today, Brent.
Wow.
I listened
That's
to
not even a word.
I
Jen.
listened to another podcast and they say that.
They say that. I've never heard that
that's funny.
before.
But yeah, feminine women just have a different intuition than men, I feel like. And
Totally.
kind of that's all they need is
Mhm.
their intuition,
Yeah.
So
They don't always listen.
sometimes just sitting in on a meeting or they don't always listen, but sometimes just being there and offering that.
Yeah. Which I think that's important. And if you didn't know, or if you weren't involved, you wouldn't know how that intuition could be used.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think that's an important thing as well.
Yeah.
Where I think, and a lot of times I see the mistake of the main partner, which is usually the husband, who's the lead, you know, like he's saying, oh, okay, I'm doing this, and then doesn't encourage the spouse to be involved
Yeah.
and just says, oh, I just need your support, and then doesn't realize how much more ineffective he is because he doesn't have her around to help guide him. But then you see a lot of guys, which I know it took me a long time, where Kelsey would say, hey, do this, and then I just took it as criticism, where it wasn't criticism, it was she had these special skills and abilities. It was like, I did not hear that from that conversation.
I want to know how
You know?
how you transition to like say things about how he should do things.
Oh yeah.
Like, how do you tell him what to do without telling him what to do?
Yeah, well, you used to get super
Fired up.
defensive, and he used to say, don't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shoot, I'm just trying to give, my advice. I just feel like you've changed in the way that I have like your best interest, and I'm just trying to help. And I don't ever criticize. I just say, in my opinion, or this is what I got from that. And a lot of times he listens because he's learned.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's been learned.
Do you ask, like, do you come home and say, hey, tell me? I feel like that's what he does a lot.
Yeah,
know?
he
Come home and
does.
be like, this is going on. What do you think? And
Yeah. Or he'll ask me, hey, can you come in? I want to get your feedback, or I want to see what your perspective is, because we view stuff completely different. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and I think early on in my career, it was like a insecurity thing, where if she viewed something different, it was almost like, well, if you didn't see it the same as I saw it, then something must be wrong with me. You know, where now I realize that's actually a superpower. Like, her having a different perspective than me didn't make me wrong. It actually allowed her to see something that maybe I didn't see. Maybe it was something that could happen in the future, or maybe it was the way somebody conducted themselves, or maybe something that they said that it didn't even register with me, but she heard and said, this is a character trait of theirs. This actually happened, learning this from her happened recently, where Jefferson constantly has these sayings that he'll say, you know, and he's got these things that are important to him.
Yeah.
And I told the team the other day, I said that those are his value and character traits. Like, those are the things that matter to him. So he's not just saying this to say it. It's actually who he is. Like, that's his character. So he's telling you who he is by asking you to do these certain things. Accountability, SOPs, all this stuff. That's how he operates. Yes. Right? So he's actually speaking his character out loud. But I know when I said that, he's like, dude, I've never thought about it like that.
Is it his truth? It's his truth.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm actually like the difference between truth and fact. And fact is actually, this is the fact, like the sky is blue. But truth is based on perspective and how people have been raised and how they view stuff. And that's one thing I do appreciate about, because I view stuff completely different than him, and he'll be like, no, you're looking at that wrong. And I'm like, oh, I see what you're saying. And so I do think that is, that's what helps us, is we're so different, and so we can help each other in different areas because we see stuff completely different.
Took a long time to get there, so
it took 20 years to get there.
Well, it's an interesting thing that you said there too, is because we do that to each other. I feel like there's been way too many times where I've probably been too overbearing to override her intuition.
Yeah.
And that's a trick too, because what you all have and bring to the table is very important for us to listen.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to do that. I know early in our career, I was going to say, I made the mistake of, because of my insecurities of, hey, don't let the team see that we're not perfect.
Yeah,
right?
like that we
so
fight.
Get up and speak, and she'd say something when she was speaking in training, like, oh, don't say that, because I felt like it made us look bad, when in reality it made us look...
Makes you look real.
Yeah.
Makes you look real, and makes you look human. Our pastor used to, that was one thing, I think that's why our church in Vegas grew so fast, is because he would be relatable. Hey, you guys, like, I make these mistakes. I'm a sinner. Like, I'm not perfect.
Right.
I sin. I do this. Yeah. But this is why we, so.
That's how we learn from that situation.
Exactly.
Make us better. Yeah.
And then people go, oh my gosh, like, he's like me. Like, I'm broken. He's been broken.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, true.
I was going to say too, Jeff, with, you were asking, I think being involved, the biggest thing for me of being involved, I always translate everything into just home life, but being involved in just the thinking training, like the bigness of understanding. So when you're parenting, you end up parenting more together, right? It just translates into every part of your life. So if your child's going through something, maybe they, I don't know, we're going to maybe have a better idea of try to, I'm losing my train of thought. Sorry.
Help that.
Yeah, just more positive way instead of like, hey, let's, transfer them out of that class. They're having a hard time. No, you can do this type thing. So just, I
Help them
think
overcome and do hard things.
yes,
Finish
overcome
when
face
they started,
challenges.
Yeah.
totally. So I think that's where I've had the biggest impact is being involved, being at events and that thinking training, reading the books and all that that's what I felt the biggest.
There's no way to quantify how much smaller our success would have been without, I think we'd all agree, without her, for example.
I don't think my mom came over for dinner the other night. She's like, Jeff would have done nothing without Kelsey. And that's totally true. Like, I didn't look at that as like a,
Like a diss.
yeah, like it's true. Like there's no way I would have quit. I would have quit months in. Like there's
So if you don't have your spouse involved in your life, you can't quantify the impact of that.
Yeah.
It's you can't describe it.
Well, and I think the reason why I say this is because I think a lot of guys go, or even a lot of couples, they say, I can't work with my spouse. Well, of course you can't, because you said you can't.
That, yeah.
Well, you already are. If you got kids, you already are.
Yeah. You're working at home with your spouse.
You are working with your spouse. Well, hopefully you are. If you're not, then you better figure it out.
Right.
Well,
I think Lexi made a good point with, like, you were saying you read the books and so I feel like that's a way people can be involved too. If they can't come to the office every day and be involved, they can still work on their mindset and
know what's going on. Yeah, you can still be mentally involved without having to be there physically.
Yeah, agreed.
And that's, you hear a lot of people say, oh, I just want to leave it at home. Like, I don't want to take it home with me. Well, you're going to be average forever. Like, I want to, all I ever think about, someone said it today, like, all I ever think about is this. And I'm like, welcome to the club.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you're starting to give a shit.
And that's
can't stop thinking.
That's an attitude adjustment, by the way. So if that's your attitude, you're right. How are you ever going to do anything special or great? Be thankful you have something that you get to do all the time.
Yeah.
Because the more energy you pour into it, the better your life's going to become. So instead of going, oh man, I don't want to take it home. No, I get to take this home. You imagine what it'd be like to live in some third world country. You don't even have an opportunity to do something like this, right?
Yeah. Or just like, it's like Art used to always say, God first, family second, business third. And I used to always think that it was like almost a number one, number two, or number three. And then Ray Dalio always talks about, if I say God, family, business, or Tim Grover does a great job of this in his book. He says, I never put numbers next to someone because I don't want someone to say this is number one, this is number two, this is number three, where they're all three important, right? Like, I don't want to have God without my family, and I don't want to have God out of my business. I want them all three to be intertwined. I want it to be who I am as an individual. And I think that a lot of times, people that say that, really what they're saying is that I'm stressing about not performing well at work and I want to leave it behind and go home and decompress, rather than saying, how do I get better at what I'm doing at work so that I can also go home and be a pro too? So whether it's in my personal life or my business life or financial life, how often do you see somebody make a lot of money but make horrible personal decisions and then blow up their lives because they make stupid decisions, even financially? They don't pay their taxes or whatever, and you're just like, well, that was stupid. How did you not see that coming? Like, what did you think was going to happen, right? And so but it comes back to the same thing of just making a decision to be a pro in all areas of your life and not just trying to leave one area behind and release the pressure.
How about this one? I want to ask you, happy wife, happy life. I think it's the biggest lie in the world. Let's talk about that. What are your three thoughts on that? Happy wife, happy life. What does that really mean to be a happy wife?
Why not?
What is your husband
spouse,
doing?
happy house?
There you go. There's another one. But really, I mean, I want to hear. I got my thoughts on that, but I want to. I don't. Yeah.
I think if a husband is just trying to walk on eggshells to make sure his wife's just okay all the time, I don't think that works.
I think it's up to the wife to make herself happy. It's not up to anyone else to make her happy.
Yeah, for sure. It is interesting.
Couple like learn that. But...
Yeah, exactly. Like you have to make me happy. No. You have to make yourself happy.
Yeah.
Like, and if you have issues, it's obviously you've got something going on with yourself. Has nothing to do with them. So,
but don't you think that it's your husband's responsibility to lead? Isn't that what you really want? Lead, provide, protect.
Yes.
Isn't that what makes you happy? I'm
You
asking.
might have been in my house like a few months ago.
I'm asking because I've made the mistake of thinking I'm making her happy and not leading as a man of the house, and it was not good.
Right.
Yeah.
It was not good. So, yeah.
Well, I guess
I think
don't be married to a pansy. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, really though, that is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know.
You know what it was? It was just that my priorities were off.
Yeah.
Because if we as men serve God and do what God wants us to do as men, I think our wives are going to be overall happy. Maybe not all the time, but overall safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Protected.
Protected. Secure.
Mm-hmm.
Which
That's
what women want. Yeah, they want security.
Yeah, and I don't think it necessarily makes them happy. I think it gives them enough security and
Peace.
the availability so that they can do what makes them happy.
Yeah.
But if they don't have security and they don't feel like they can actually put food on the table because they have a provider around, then they're stressed out about those things and they can't actually do the things that bring them joy. Same for us, right? And so, I think that brings me to another thing I have on this list is people saying, well, the only way you can be successful or have a very successful business is you have to sacrifice your personal life, or you have to sacrifice your family en route to success, or you have to sacrifice all these things. And it actually irritates me because, and I kind of alluded to it at the beginning where it's like, just because I'm maybe investing less time into my family right now doesn't make me care less, but I also don't have to spend no time with my family to be successful. I actually think that's a myth because we get on social media and it's like there's this almost this message that's tried to sell to everybody. It's like, oh, sleep 4 hours and work your guts out, and that's the only way to win. And it's like, to me, it's just this myth, because the reality is most really successful people aren't working 18 hours a day. In fact, odds are if you're working 18 hours a day, you're broke. And maybe you're making some money, but you're broke in other areas. Maybe you're breaking your health. Maybe you're breaking relationships in your life. And maybe just you're not smart enough to know how to get it done. I don't think there's anything special about saying, oh, man, I only sleep 4 hours a night and I'm working the other 18 or 20. Actually, to me, it's like, okay, well, you're not very smart. To me, the thing I respect is somebody who says, man, I can have this massive amount of financial success with my family and relationships, be it make a positive impact in my community, and I can do all of those things. I'm not trying to seek balance. I'm just trying to be a pro in everything that I do, because how I do one thing is how I do anything. Amen. So what is your perspectives on that? I know we've been on both sides of those, where I know I've genuinely worked 20 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I feel like Jefferson's been at that spot too, but then it did.
And there's times you got to do it. There's times you got to do it. But
yeah.
Sorry. Good.
No, you're good.
It was, to me, it was almost like bang on your chest, like, look at me. Nobody's willing to do what I like. And you sacrifice your health and you're, overweight and feel like crap. And
just call me fat.
I love that. I love the button popping off his.
That is story.
You called yourself fat.
I mean, but that was
really in the middle of a meeting and his button just popped up.
I was sitting in the office.
Wearing like a size,
36-inch pant. And all of a sudden my button hit the wall.
It was
36-inch pants. That's pretty good.
Dude, can you imagine?
But he used to always tell people, like,
a lot of drive.
You don't
late at night.
Oh yeah.
For real, yeah.
Red Bull.
Pizza, Red Bull, Snickers.
But he would tell people, you could sleep when you die, and just like disregarded a lot of that stuff, like almost as it made him feel, I don't want to say like I'm better, like that, you're never going to have success unless you're willing to do this. But it was more of a mindset thing. It wasn't like, oh, you have to only sleep. No, it's like you need to become obsessed.
Yeah, I think I really was so insecure that I was overcorrecting.
Yeah.
And that I would gravitate towards these other insecure people that I would see that were also overcorrecting.
Yep.
And I remember having a conversation with Jefferson about this early on in his career, because he was saying that stuff. It's like, man, I go to bed at midnight and I'm waking up at 4. And I remember telling him, dude, I've been there.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing special about that. Like, that isn't special.
And it's unnecessary.
Yeah, I blew out my adrenal glands.
It makes people, you kind of blow a lot of people like out of the water.
Not everyone's willing to do that.
Yeah.
Not willing, but
It's not attractive.
It's not smart.
Yeah, who wants to do that?
Like, I don't want that life. Like,
Yeah.
no, we want to try to make success look attractive because we want to bring more people to it, not make it look like it's only you probably won't survive.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Literally.
I think sometimes it shows a lack of faith too. Like,
That's a good.
instead of like, okay, God's got me.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
like I'm going to put in the effort, but I know he's going to make up whatever I can do.
Such
So,
a good point.
I think Dan Martell, I heard him say, it's not the hours you work, it's the value you bring.
Yeah.
So if you can bring great value for 4 to 6 hours a day
yeah.
versus less value for 12 hours a day, then 4 to 6 hours a day is all you need.
Yeah.
If you can provide that value in that time, right?
Yes.
And if we design our lives properly and take care of ourselves, we can do a good job at it. But there's going to be times where you're going to put in those 16-hour days here and there. It's part of how it goes.
Right.
Life's not perfect.
Yeah.
But overall, we can design a more balanced life. Not really balanced. You guys know what I'm saying, but we can be wise.
Harmonized.
Harmonize. There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think we
Cool.
just get smarter.
Words.
Yeah.
Like,
Wisdom. Yeah, I think
Wisdom.
that's what it is. Like you start having more wisdom to realize, like, oh, I've been through that. And this is the powerful thing about learning from other people or watching a podcast like this or reading a book where you can learn things from other people who have had some achievement but learn the hard way. Almost everybody's learned the hard way at some point for them to really get it.
It's almost the only way to learn a lot of stuff. Not
All the
only way.
stuff, yeah.
Wisdom is to learn from someone else who's already done
Yeah.
it. Right?
Yeah, the
Most
best
of
way to
them
learn
want
from
to learn
other.
their own way, though.
Yeah.
On
But
It's like asking for directions, right? No, I'm good. I'll take the long
oh
route.
yeah, Jeff's the best at that. Like, and we'll all follow him. We'll be in Vegas going through a casino, like we're headed somewhere, and he has no clue where he's going.
Let's not follow.
We're going the wrong way.
You
But-
never know.
But he's just
Brown's just
He's
knows.
going with a purpose. Like, he knows.
He's like, they'll figure it out. You know, like if someone's following me, he's like, they'll find it. Like, I don't need it.
That's funny. Well, I think one of the thing I want to bring to before we wrap up is there's all these growing seasons that we have in our personal lives and our professional lives and really our financial lives too. And what I've learned is that, we've all talked about a few of them where we've learned from each other, and we went through a hard time, we learned, went through a hard time, we learned. And then we get to a place where it feels like a reward. And then it's like, all right, back to war,
Mhm.
And I think for us, I learned this early on where probably 5 years into our career, in fact, Brandon and I had called you, I was trying to achieve a financial goal. I got there. I was like, I was waiting for this feeling to go away. It didn't go away. And I realized like, oh, maybe that feeling is never going to go away. And so there's this, almost like stair step, plateau, stair step, plateau, stair step, plateau effect that goes on in most people that have success. And it might not even be stair step because sometimes it's taking a couple steps down, But what would you guys' perspective to be? Because, there's going to be people listening to this where right now maybe they're, in that down phase, which I like to call, in season of life, it might be winter, where things suck. It's cold. It's uncomfortable. It hurts.
Spring and summer are coming.
Yes.
Yep.
But there are some growth periods. Spring's coming. So what would be your perspective on how to get through those challenging times? But I think more importantly than anything, because a lot of people I think respond. This is what's interesting. A lot of people respond really good during down times. When money's not coming in, all of a sudden they get creative and they go to work.
Mm-hmm.
I think most of the mistakes are made when it's not really uncomfortable.
Right.
It's actually during the summer. Like, what are people doing when it's comfortable?
Yeah.
So I'd love to hear your guys' perspective on how you've watched us handle these situations. And then how do you think you stay moving the right direction through these seasons?
Yeah. Goals, really. I mean, having a goal and always chasing like another goal. I think that's what helped us the most in the downtimes is like, okay, we have this goal and it's our mission, and constantly writing it down, talking about it. I think that is the biggest thing for us.
So how about when times were going good?
But
I
still feel like goals, like
Goals.
we never settled, let's say. So as soon as we hit a goal, we reset goals. And so it was always like, and it was almost like when times are going good, that's when you need to like double down.
Yeah.
Because you're in the right state of mind, and
you can kind of sprint when things are going good.
Yeah.
Get
But-
ahead.
Yep.
You're still doing that today, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
No, seriously. And sometimes you have to play mind games with yourself. I mean, for us, like financially, it's always been like we always played broke. Like we always, he always sweeped our account. When I was in charge of the money was there. I was like, woohoo! Like you see your bank account and there's plenty of money in there. Well, when the fridge is full,
Yeah.
like you don't worry. But when the fridge is empty, you start getting creative. And so it was always this mental game that we had to play with each other. Like, we only have enough money in our account to pay our bills.
Yeah.
Anything more than that, like, no, we're going to overdraft. And so
And still you do that.
it's still this.
I really do still.
Yeah.
He still sweeps our account. There's a little bit more in there, but sometimes when I do make big purchases, like when I went school shopping for the kids, because he just puts a certain amount in there to pay our bills and a little extra, like for groceries and all that. I said, hey, I'm going school shopping. I've got to go buy like this. Is there money in our account? Because I know he puts a limit. And so it's a game though, right? Like we have the money, but it's not available. So we can't just have a free for all.
Yeah,
Smart.
Yeah.
Jefferson started doing that, sweeping it all.
Yeah.
So that's been good.
It's awesome.
Probably better for him.
Yeah.
Well, there
It
has
was
been
for sure for him.
There has been a couple of times where I have like, and it's like decline. I'm like, no, I know there's money. I have money.
I need everyone to know that I have money. Hold on.
Let me make
Hold
a
on,
call.
I'll pay for your groceries too. Just wait.
Well, I think this is important because, yeah, I've always tried to stay in a place where I didn't get comfortable and knowing what's causing comfortable. So you have to be willing to admit what's going to cause you comfort, and stay uncomfortable. Because most people, I think, just try to find comfort.
Yeah.
And I'm always trying
And then
to
live in it.
Yeah.
find discomfort.
Yeah.
Like if it ain't uncomfortable, I'm about to make it uncomfortable, like signing up for a marathon or something,
Yeah.
I think what helps me is I really just know my kids are always watching no matter what. And even if you were working really hard a year ago, they're older, they're still watching you right now.
Yeah.
So even today, just I really was not in the mood to come here and record a podcast. I wasn't. I was like, I am just not in the place. And my girls, we were in the kitchen and they're making food and I'm like, okay, I gotta go record this podcast. I'm like, kill dad. And my sailor goes, don't kill dad, I like him. And I said, I usually like him too, but I'm mad at him right now because he's asked me to do this and I'm not in the mood. I said, but I'm gonna go do it because I know it's a good thing. And so even just small things like that, getting out of your comfort zone a little bit all the time, just those things, they see that. And that's enough of an internal motivation for me to try to always be doing that. So.
I was going to say, I love that, Lexi, is that you're teaching your kids that even when something's not comfortable or you don't feel like it, you're going to do it regardless. And you guys are like testaments of that. Like, it doesn't matter when, like, if you feel like working out, like, you're waking up working out. And I love that about both of you guys. Like, I can always count on seeing Lexi at the gym. I can always count on seeing Brandon on my phone running every time
In bands.
every time.
They're doing bands in the gym.
No,
If he's not running, he's doing bands.
Oh man.
well, it's that constant, right? You can count on it and it's predictable and
Super boring, but we'll take it.
but I love it. And it's almost like if it wasn't, you would go, like, if I didn't see Brandon running every day on social, I would go, what happened? What's wrong?
Where's the video to make me mad today?
Oh my God. Well, so I used to like love watching Brandon run and I'm like, yes, get it before I ran. And then I'm like, he's already ran. I haven't even ran today. I need to run. I don't want to run.
Running sucks.
Running sucks, but he's like,
Been to the gym and ran.
he's been to the gym, ran, done a cold plunge, probably, like, who knows?
Ate
Like,
steak for breakfast.
ate steak for, like, he's living all of my goals. He is doing.
Before you got out
Before I even. No,
Yeah.
I have to tell this one story real fast. But I woke up, opened up Instagram, I didn't see Brandon running. Well, it's dark outside. So I'm like, oh, Brandon ran at night. No, he ran that morning before the sun came up.
4 a.m.
It said like 4 hours ago. So,
So you got up at 8 and he got up at 4.
I was like, what is wrong with me?
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
You want to know what he says every day? These miles aren't going to run themselves.
oh, I gotta start saying that. Maybe it'll make me want to run.
Sign
Gotta
it.
go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
These miles.
Like
will
return
never
with honor.
run.
But these miles won't run themselves.
Then he's being vinyl.
Yeah.
Vinyl.
Wood with the vinyl.
I told Jeff that we need because he runs past our road. And I'm like, one day, I know kind of around the time he runs past our road, when he like wait there, and then when he runs past, we just start running.
You should get a blowhorn and just like wait there for him to come by.
Yeah.
Go with it.
Just down there with the poster board like he's running the marathon and be like,
Let's go, Brandon.
I love this point. Let's go, Brandon. I love this point because those that are successful, their actions are predictable.
Oh, 100%.
And I think this is a good way to end this.
Yep.
And I think as partners here and seeing this, I think we can all agree that when one of us say we're going to do something, we can count on it. It's predictable. We know it's going to get done. We don't have to wonder whether or not, hey, is it going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
I actually think that's probably one of the most important parts of any relationship, whether it's a marriage, whether it's a partnership in business, whether it's, a family member or a sibling or whatever. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I need to do that.
Yeah.
Right? So I think, Brandon, thanks for being consistent, dude. Been a good
Same to you all.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a room full of people, I think, that do that. We feel the same about you. I mean,
Yeah.
really. I mean, you everybody in this room I can count on and depend on.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool to have those kind of relationships.
Yeah.
And I think we can all agree with that. And whether it's a marriage, a business partnership, or whatever it might be, are you dependable? Are you willing to do whatever it takes?
Yep.
And we know that about each other. Right. And we aren't all perfect, and we don't always do things maybe the same way we feel each other should. But when it comes down to it, we know we're going to do whatever it takes to do our very best and come through for each other.
Yeah. I think being able to count on each other, knowing that, hey, we know you're going to be there. I think that's an important thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a good way to end. I think for those of you guys that are watching today, you got some incredible tips from these incredible ladies who aren't always on. And I love hearing from them because they get such a different perspective, like we talked about today, right? They see it from a totally different view. And if today you watch this and you realize like maybe my spouse needs to hear this, or somebody else, or maybe there's something that'll help one of your kids or their spouses or something like that, send this to them, share it with them. We want to make a positive impact in people's lives. We want to help them take their business, their lives, personally, professionally, to the next level. So,
and I would say one thing too is, as everybody's watching this, we are not perfect, and none of the stuff we talked about today takes talent, right? It takes discipline, and it takes a focused effort that everyone out there, us included, we can all continue to get better and improve. And it's incremental. It doesn't happen overnight. We have our bad days. We don't get along all the time. I don't feel like being disciplined every day, and I fall short all the time. There's days I'm just not feeling it today, and I fall off the horse all the time. So I think sometimes people might look at someone who's had some success sometimes and think, well, I'm just not like that. Well, maybe you're not yet.
Yeah, right.
But start working at it. It doesn't take talent to do these things. And I hope people get that from our podcast. We're here to help you in any way that we can. And if you'll reach out to us, right? Come join our team. Let's go, right? Yeah. And anyway, I'll let you wrap up. But I think that's...
thank you for that, dude.
Yeah.
I think it's powerful. I think that more people in the world need to know you don't have to be perfect to win.
Yeah.
You just have to go for it. Show up one more time. Fall down, get back up, and go for it. Well, thank you guys for coming. Thanks, Lexi, for coming. We appreciate you being here.
Yes.
Shandell, thanks for coming. I know your favorite thing in the world to do.
Yeah.
Kelsey, she also tried to talk me out of this today as well, right up to the last minute.
I did.
Glad you all showed up.
I wasn't letting it happen. So thank you all to those of you guys who made it all the way to the end of this. Make sure you like and subscribe, share it with somebody so we can get the word out there. Comment, let us know what part of the podcast you liked, what you would like to see more of in the future. Thanks again for tuning in to Just Real Quick. We'll see you guys next week.